Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial on how to use AGS's Champion Networks Management module. If you're watching this tutorial in several videos, this is the fourth video in our series on how to use AGS's OCM ERP tool for change planning and management. My name is Francesca, and I'm the lead content producer for AGS. Today, I will be providing you with a step-by-step introduction and an overview of how to use the Change Champion Networks module of the tool. Most AGS products are Excel-based, which was a strategic decision because most people are familiar with Excel. When you open the Champion Networks Management module for the first time, you will land on the home page. After that, whenever you open the module, you will land on the page that was last opened before the module was closed. For today's tutorial, we will start with an overview of the module's homepage. On the left of the homepage will be the Organizational Change Champion module's Template Database button. Clicking on this button will take you to the Template Database, where you will input key information about your Change Network champions and agents. Later on, as part of today's presentation, I will provide you with a detailed overview of the Template Database. The red button in the middle of the home page of the Business Change Champion Networks module is the Analytics Dashboard button. Clicking on this button will take you to the Analytics page. During today's presentation, I'll also provide you with a detailed overview of the Analytics Dashboard page. The third button is the Champion Network Overview button. Clicking on this will take you to an overview page with educational information on establishing and managing effective change networks. At the very top of the home page is a link that takes you to the main dashboard of the OCM ERP tool, where you can access all the modules and templates within the tool, including this one. To the right section of the home page, you will see the menu column. The first item on this column is the Read This First link. Clicking on this link will take you to a page within the module that includes some pieces of highlighted information. The second item on the Change Champion module's menu column is the link to the Instructions and Tutorial page. Clicking the third link takes you to AGS's Additional Products page of our website, where you can find other popular and frequently used change management and project management modules, templates, and samples. The fourth link on the menu column takes you to the Password page, where you can access the password to unlock and relock pages within this module. The next link is the Single-Use License page. This provides details on the licensing rights you have for using this module. Purchasing this module or tool involves a single user right of usage, and so giving this module or tool to multiple people to use is not permitted. Additional versions of the module or tool need to be purchased for other users. If you have any questions while using this module, all you have to do is click on the Questions. Click the Contact AGS link on the menu column to draft a message to the AGS support team. Next on the menu column are two very important sections that you should be aware of. The step-by-step itineraries provide an end-to-end checklist of activities that should be taken before and after you kick off your Change Champion network. The talking points and tips provide key discussion points and tips to support your outreach activities and increase your success in identifying and signing up potential change champions. We will discuss these two sections in detail later in this tutorial. The next items I would like to go over on the Champion Networks module's menu column are the Sample Data buttons. While using this module, you can always view sample data for both the Template Database and the Analytics Dashboard. The sample data helps give you an idea of how you can enter your own data. Clicking on any of these two blue buttons will take you to either of the sample data pages. We will discuss these two pages in detail later on as part of this tutorial. And that covers the high-level overview of the menu column on the module's homepage. Next, we'll review the Change Champion Management module's Template Database page. To open the page, I'm going to click on this button, which will take us to the database. When you initially open the module for the first time after purchasing it, the template database will be blank because nothing has been entered into it yet. But to illustrate what this template database will look like as you start entering information, we have added a template database with sample data to the module. You can access this template with sample data two ways. Click on the Template with Sample Data button at the top of the template database, or on the home page of the Organizational Change Champion Networks module, click on the Template Database with Sample Data button on the menu column to view the sample database. I'm going to click on the Template with Sample Data button. The first thing I'd like to mention as we review the Business Change Champion module's template database and the provided sample data is that the sample data on this page is just dummy data that has been included here for illustration purposes only. You can return to the main template database to enter data at any time by clicking the Template Database tab at the top of the sample data page. Two other helpful tabs that are included on both the blank template database and the sample data page are the Home tab, which takes you out to the main page of the module, and the Main Dashboard tab that will take you to the main dashboard of the OCM ERP tool. You'll see these two tabs throughout the pages in each module of the end-to-end OCM ERP tool. Just remember that Home takes you to that individual module's homepage, and Main Dashboard takes you out to the main tool where you can access all the modules. Let's look at the first 5 columns on the template. You'll use these to capture the first name, last name, title, email address, and phone number of your change champions and agents. It is okay to leave out the phone number if your organization mostly communicates via email. Next, you'll use the division, department, and group columns to capture the organizational details of the change agents and champions. These columns use a drop-down that is populated from the data you enter on the Unique List of Orgs page. Watch video 1 in this OCM ERP tool end-to-end video tutorial for a review of that page. Depending on how your company is structured, you might not need to use all 3 organizational columns. For example, if your firm's organizational structure only includes divisions or departments, then that's all you would need to enter. In the next column, you'll be documenting the change management experience of each change agent and champion. It is very important to identify and document the change management experience level, so you'll know what types of educational engagement you'll need for each change agent or champion. Change champions are generally individuals that volunteer to support a change and help facilitate adoption and acceptance within their groups. Driving change is not a part of their normal jobs. This is something they are doing in addition to their normal day-to-day job. Most of them might not be familiar with change management, and so will need coaching and support. This column uses a drop-down from which you can choose high, mid, or low for the level of change management experience. Those individuals that have low and mid-level experience will require more coaching, hand-holding, and support than those with a high level of change management experience. The next batch of columns can be used to capture the manager's information for the change champions. You'll capture their first name, last name, title, and email address. Manager's information is important as you'll need to engage with these managers to provide regular status updates on their direct reports' involvement in the Change Champion network. The final batch of columns we will be discussing on this page are the miscellaneous columns. When you have multiple related programs or projects that need to be tracked holistically, you can enter the name of the different programs in the Program Name column. And for the different projects, you can use the Project Name column. The final column can be used to capture additional information. And that concludes the high-level overview of the Change Champions and Agents template database. It is not mandatory to populate all the columns shown on the template database, but it is highly recommended. Information from the database will feed into the Analytics dashboard. This is what we're going to discuss next. To get to the Analytics dashboard of this Project Management and Change Management Champion platform, just click on the Home tab at the top left-hand side of this page to be taken back to the home page. When you get to the home page, click on this Analytics Dashboard button. When you initially open the Change Champion module for the first time after purchasing it, The Analytics dashboard will be blank if nothing has been entered into your template database. However, as you start entering information into the Business Change Champion Network's template database, then the respective charts, data, and metrics will start to show up on the Analytics dashboard. On the top of the Analytics dashboard is a Refresh Analytics button. Clicking on this button ensures that any data that has just been entered into the template database is reflected by the Analytics dashboard. As a good rule of thumb, you'll want to click on the Refresh Analytics button when opening this page and before reviewing your analytics. To illustrate what the Change Champion module's Analytics dashboard will look like as you start populating your template database, we have included a sample Analytics dashboard to the module. You can access this template with sample data two ways. Click on the Dashboard with Sample Data button at the top of the Analytics dashboard, or on the home page of the Change Champion Management module, click on the blue Analytics Dashboard with Sample Data button on the menu column. I'm going to click on the Dashboard with Sample Data button. Okay, so now we're looking at the Sample Analytics dashboard populated with our sample data. I want to point out the blue tab at the top of the page titled Analytics Dashboard. This tab takes you from the sample dashboard back to the Analytics dashboard for your data. The Analytics section that I would like to start with is the Total Number of Champions and Agents section. This section provides a summarized number of the individuals that have been added to your list of Change Champions and Agents. To the right of the total number of champions and agents is an Analytics bar chart. This provides a summarized view of the impacted divisions, departments, and groups that have Change Champions and Agents. This will be based upon the data that you enter into the template database. Below the bar chart, there will be a tabular view of the total number of divisions, departments, and groups. The next Analytics section provides you with holistic views of the various levels of change management experience. Change champions with mid or low levels of change management experience will need to be supported and coached to help them fulfill their roles as change champions. In this example, we can see that 27 change champions have a low level of change management experience. 31 have a mid-level, and 22 champions have a high level of experience with change management. The final set of analytic views provide unique lists of the divisions, departments, and groups that are impacted by the change and for which change champions and agents have been identified. This is an important view because it allows you to easily see where you have change champions positioned throughout your organization and which divisions, departments, or groups may be missing from the list and need to have a change champion identified. And that concludes the high-level overview of the Analytics dashboard. If ever you would like to see more views and more charts, you can click on this button here to contact the AGS team for a quote. Next, we're going to go back to the main home page by clicking the Home tab at the top left-hand side of the page. We'll now take a look at the Champion Network overview, which we'll access by clicking this third button on the page. This page has a link to a Change Champion Network creation and management overview. If you're new to managing a Change Champion network, this is a great place to begin. Next, let's go over the step-by-step itineraries. We'll get there by clicking on the Home tab at the top left-hand side of the page to get back to the home page. To access the itineraries at any time, go to the home page and click on one of the step-by-step itinerary links at the bottom of the right section of the menu column. This section provides an overview of the step-by-step checklist of activities that should be taken before and after you kick off your Change Champion networks. It includes itinerary for planning the network, itinerary for launching the network, and itinerary for managing the network. The first section of the step-by-step set of itineraries includes a list of tasks and activities that should be completed as part of planning the network. We'll click on that link to be taken to the planning page. The first column is the ID number for each item on your planning list that you can use as a reference. The second column is where you'll enter your planning tasks. Several of these are filled in for you. The planning to launch the network tasks is separated into 5 areas designed to guide your planning process efficiently. Determine needed champions and time commitment, identify impacted business units, present to senior leaders and managers of impacted groups, ask the managers to volunteer candidates, and follow up with volunteered candidates to get commitment. On the Owners column, enter the name and title of the person that will be performing the task listed on the Change Network Creation and Management Tasks column. Enter the start date on the Start Date column for each activity, and enter the anticipated completion date in the Due Date column. The Duration column will automatically populate for you based upon the start date and the due date that you entered. The Status column is also automatically updated based on today's date relative to the start date and the due date. The flags that are automatically populated on the Status column are Due Date has passed, In Progress, Starts in 1 to 5 days, Pending, or TBD, to be determined. The next column is the Notes and Comments column, where you can enter any additional information regarding your tasks. To the right of the Notes column is a 1-year Gantt chart. This Gantt table presents a timeline and a holistic view of the scheduled itinerary activities. An important note is that you must enter the timeline start date in the very first cell. And the start date must start with a date that correlates to a Monday for the Gantt chart to work correctly. You can choose any Monday that you like, but the timeline start date has to be a Monday. And that covers the itinerary for planning the network. We'll go back out to the home page by clicking the tab at the top left-hand side of the page. Now, let's take a look at the itinerary for launching the network by clicking that link in the menu. The second phase of the Change Network creation and management process is the launch phase. The itinerary for launching the network includes lists of tasks and activities that should be completed as part of establishing and launching the network. You'll see that this page uses the same format as the planning itinerary, and in fact, you can scroll up to see your Planning the Network tasks right above your Launch the Network tasks. Here, the Launch the Network tasks are divided into 2 areas: Kickoff and Build Momentum. On the Owners column, enter the name and title of the person that will be performing the task. Then to the right of that, enter the anticipated start date and due date for each of the tasks. Again, the duration and status fields are automatically calculated based upon the start and due dates. You'll also see the Notes and Comments column and the same Gantt chart that we discussed when we were looking at planning the network. Now, let's go back out to the home page by using the Home tab and look at the last itinerary. Once on the home page, we're going to click on the link for the itinerary for managing the network. The final phase of the Change Network creation and management process is the management phase. The itinerary for managing the network includes a list of tasks and activities that should be completed as part of managing and rewarding the network of change champions and agents. You'll see that you have the same interface as the other 2 itineraries, with the ID column first, the Tasks column, the Owner, Start Date, Due Date, Duration, Status, and Notes and Comments columns, and the 1-year Gantt chart. The tasks for managing the network are divided into 3 key areas: ongoing engagement, track, and reward and recognize the change champions. Each of these 3 itineraries, planning, launching, and managing your Change Champion networks, are designed to give you a roadmap for your entire process. The goal of these itineraries is to simplify the building and fortifying of the network of champions and agents you'll need to support your change process. And that covers the high-level overview of the step-by-step itineraries. We have one more area of the Change Network Management module to look at in this tutorial, so let's go back to our home page. The Talking Points and Tips section provides an overview of key talking points to support your outreach activities during meetings and to increase your success in identifying and signing up potential change agents. To access this section at any time, go to the home page and click on one of the 2 links under the Talking Points and Tips section at the bottom right under the menu column. We'll take a brief look at the Meetings with Managers talking points first. When meeting with change champions and agents for the first time, or when socializing the concept of change networks with managers and senior leaders, it helps when you have a list of talking points that will help drive the conversation. This first link will give you talking points when meeting with managers. Now, going back out to the home page, we'll click on the Kickoff Meeting with Champions link for those talking points and tips. These are focused on topics you can leverage to drive conversations with your change champions and agents. And that covers the main areas and infrastructure of this AGS Champion Network Management module. All of the information that I've provided today is documented in the instructions and tutorial page of the module. Just go to the home page, and in the menu column, click on the Instructions and Tutorial link, and you'll find the job aid for using this module. Once again, my name is Francesca, and I'm the lead content producer for AGS. I hope this step-by-step video tutorial will be a great learning process for helping you understand how to use the Change Champion Networks Management module of the OCM ERP tool, as well as understanding the overall infrastructure of the module. If you have any questions or if you need additional features and capabilities to be developed for you, just send us an email and your question or request will be routed to the right contacts. Now, we're going to review the next module within the OCM ERP tool, which is the Communications Management module. If you are watching this end-to-end OCM ERP tutorial in a series of separate videos, the video on the Communications Management module is the one to watch next.